Good morning, everybody. Today is Friday, March 27th, 2020. Today marks 2 whole weeks of us doing this online learning, and so far you guys have been doing really well. I'm so proud of all the work that you guys have been able to do, and I'm so happy that you all are jumping in and diving into these new platforms, learning this whole new way of learning and really tackling it and moving forward. And I think that you all are doing such an amazing job. I can't wait for next week where we start setting up our Zoom meetings. We may possibly do Google Hangout. I'm gonna look at them both, see which one's gonna work best so that we can all talk to each other and do our readings in our big books, and so that we can talk about what these big books are about, and that you can start doing your work inside your comprehension books and your turn books. Now, if your parents haven't gone to pick up your things yet, let them know that that's in the red room right before you enter the school. You know, that red room that you always walk through. That's where all your stuff is going to be. They're in nice little baggies with your names on them, and it will have your math book if you don't already have it, your turn book, your Unit 9 and 10 comprehension books. It will also include a primary journal so that you can do your handwriting, because I'm going to ask you to do some handwriting in here. And it will also have a few supplies so that you can do some things at home, like some pencils, a glue stick, scissors, and some watercolor paints. I also added some of the folders that you already had in your things, and I included a folder that has a whole bunch of activities and crafts for you to do for our themes. Since we're not going to be able to do our crafts in class anymore, I went ahead and printed everything out so that you can start doing that at home also. So I have a whole section on insects and bugs and life cycles, and I have a whole segment on plants and what their life cycle is like, what plants need so that they can grow, and what each part of the plant is. You're going to create your own plant and do all sorts of really cool, amazing things with that. Parents, please let me know when you have collected your child's things so that we can get started on doing that kind of work next week. I do have them out in that red vestibule so that you can grab it. For math today, I want you to continue working on those slides that I had posted. You do not need to submit anything just yet. I'm not expecting everything to get done all at once. This is something that we're going to continue working on for the week. I want everyone to be able to work at their own pace, and I know that some people are able to do a lot of work on one day, but they're not able to do as much work on another day. Maybe you do better working in the mornings instead of at night, or the other way around. So I want to make that very flexible for you all to work in, and so that you can grow and continue to challenge yourselves. I will be posting videos teaching you how to do that lesson and teaching you what those concepts are, and you can go back to those videos at any time that you need to review how to do the lesson. In Scholastics today, we're learning about chickens and chicks and their life cycle and how they grow up. We're going to start out by watching the video Rosie's Walk, and I posted up a who, what, when, where assignment on Google Classroom. So I want you to go in and I want you to tell me who the main character was, what was the setting in the story, and what is the plot in the story. So I'm going to review some of those vocabulary words with you. So first we have our main character. Our main character is going to be who the story is about. Why are we reading this story? Who is going to be the main person in the story? Who are we going to hear the most about? Next, we are going to go over our setting. Our setting is going to be when and where the story takes place. So right now we can say, hey, I am the main character and my story takes place in my living room in the morning. So I'm the main character in the morning, and in the living room is my setting. Then we have plot. Plot tells us what the main character does. For example, I would be the main character. My setting is my living room and in the morning. And my plot is to teach you all how to do your scholastic work. So now you're just going to go through, you're going to watch that video, and you're going to go back and use those sentence frames that I put on the slide to help you answer those questions. I want to see you guys working to make full sentences instead of just giving me bits of words, because I know that you guys can do this. After you're finished with that video, I want you to read the story, A Chick Grows Up. And then you're going to have your word match, you're going to do your fact and fiction, and you're going to do your what comes next. Remember, when you're doing fact and fiction, fact is something that is true, something that actually happens, and fiction means that it's not true, that it did not happen, and that it's fake. After you're done with the reading, you're going to watch the video, Roosters, Hens, and Chicks. You're going to learn a little bit more about the life cycle of a chicken and how they grow up, where they start from, what they grow up into. And I want you to complete that quiz whiz that is going to be on the right side of the page. It's only 5 questions, it's super quick, and you guys will get that done like that. Then I want you to work on the activity that it has there. You're going to draw a picture of an egg on a piece of paper. You're going to cut it out and you're going to decorate it just like you would decorate like an Easter egg. And then I'm going to put an assignment up on Google Classroom so that you guys can take a picture of your eggs and you can post that so that we can all see what kind of eggs that you made. I'm really excited to see how creative that you can be and what you're gonna make your egg to look like. Yesterday when we looked at our caterpillars, I was able to move 2 of the lids over into the butterfly pavilion, and I wanted to hold off a little bit before moving one of the other ones over because I noticed that the chrysalis was still a little bit soft and I wanted it to harden up a little bit more. This morning I took a look at it and I saw that I was able to move him over, and so we've got another lid inside of the other pavilion, and we had a caterpillar yesterday who just started making that J shape and overnight formed his chrysalis, and I'm going to wait until that kind of hardens up a little bit before I move it over to the butterfly pavilion so that it's all ready to make that move. One exciting thing that I learned about these caterpillars and when they're in these chrysalis is when they notice vibration. So when they notice something is shaking, they think that there might be a predator or somebody out there who's trying to eat them. And what they'll do is they'll start shaking, and that will make sure that the predator gets scared and will run away and won't eat them. So I noticed that a few times when I was moving the lids over into the butterfly pavilion. With the movement of everything, the chrysalids were shaking, and so that was kind of an interesting fact that I was able to learn while doing this. I'm really interested in finding out what different facts that you've learned about the caterpillars and the butterflies through this process, and I want you to let me know. Go ahead and write that in your caterpillar journal, and make sure that you're drawing pictures and writing little sentences about what's taking place every day so that you can look back on this. This is our remaining caterpillar container. That guy right in the front is the last one to make his chrysalid, so I'm gonna let that harden up today, and by tomorrow morning I'm going to move it into our butterfly pavilion. Here are the first guys to move into the pavilion. Just moved this one in this morning, and the other one will be coming in maybe later today or tomorrow morning. So parents, I spoke with Dr. Nyquist, and she got emails set up for all of the kids at PWA. So I will send you what your kid's email is and what the password is so that they can log in. This will give you the ability to sign into Google Classroom if you weren't able to before. This will also give everyone the chance to see their own name when they post their assignments, and that'll give them a lot more responsibility and ownership of the work that they're doing. It'll also make it a lot easier if they are going over to a babysitter's or grandparents or somebody else while we're working from home, and allow them to do the work without having to have a parent's email. They'll be able to sign in on their own, will recognize their own password, so they shouldn't have any problem signing in and doing their work no matter where they're at, and they'll be able to do it at any time. I'm going to go through and I'm going to take out all of the parents' emails and I'm going to put in the kids' emails. When I do that, all the work that they have already done is going to go away, and we're going to start over new, fresh now. If you've already completed assignments, don't worry. I know I've marked it down. I know that what you've done, and I'm keeping track of who's doing what and when. I know that we all have really busy lives and that we're doing our best, and I just want to make sure that everyone is trying and signing on and doing their work. If you have any questions, feel free to message me on Class Dojo or send me an email. You can also private message me on Google Classroom as well. Over the weekend, I'm going to look for resources to teach beginning and basic typewriting so that you can learn how to do your typing so that you can complete your assignments. I'll let you know later today when I am planning to set up the meetings for us to meet face-to-face next week so that we can read our big book and do our comprehension books together. Let me know when are good times in the day for parents and for kids to sign on, and I will try and take that information so that I can set up a good time for everyone to meet. There is a chance that I might have to do 2 separate meetings, so if you're somebody who will do better in the morning, maybe we can have like a morning meeting and then an afternoon meeting. Please let me know when would be a good time to set up those meetings so that we can get that figured out. Dr. Nyquist is also going to send out an email with a schedule for the specials for next week. We will be starting up our world languages, music, art, and I believe we're going to do a PE. That'll be a pre-recorded video that everyone will sign on and do the activity. I know that Ms. Cox had sent out an email to make sure that all the parents have granted permission for your child to have their work up on Artsonia. If you have not done that already, please do. If you need to reach out to her, you can go ahead and send her an email as well. As I find out more on how these specials are going to work, I will let you know so that you guys can be up to date and know what is going on and how we're going to be doing it for the next weeks. On that note, I hope that you all have a wonderful Friday. Have a great weekend. I think the weather is supposed to be very nice today. So get outside, go for a walk if you can, and I will see you all soon. Bye.